Have you ever wondered what as-is means in real estate? Well, you've come to the right place because that's what we're talking about today. So let's dive right in. Hi, my name's Harry Moore, and I'm a real estate agent in the Washington, D.C. metro area, and I've been helping people buy and sell real estate for almost 26 years. Today, we're going to talk about two little words that can have a huge impact on a real estate transaction. Ta-da! As is. In today's market, we see a lot more as-is sales. Sellers love it because they don't have to worry about the second round of negotiations after the home inspection. But there's always the other side of the coin. As-is can scare some buyers off and reduce the number of showings and interested buyers because those buyers may think, well, there's something wrong with the house, which isn't necessarily the case. Actually, let's rewind. Every house has something wrong with it. I don't care how fancy it is or how well maintained it is. There's always something. Houses are complicated and they're built and maintained by humans, so there's bound to be something wrong. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox now. All right, so many buyers assume when they see as-is that there's some big issue and that the seller's trying to somehow hide it. They have visions of that movie, The Money Pit. As-is does not negate the seller's obligations to disclose what's called a latent issue. A latent defect is something that would be discovered by a careful visual inspection. And depending on the jurisdiction and the type of sale, the seller may be required to complete a disclosure form as well. Some buyers think that as-is means they can't have an inspection. It does mean that everyone agrees that the buyers will do their inspection or inspections and that they'll either take it or leave it. I call it thumbs up or thumbs down. The contract says that the house is offered in as-is condition as of a date certain. Usually that's the date of the home inspection, and that it's subject to the addition of a home inspection contingency. It's important to remember that if something substantial changes after the date that's in the contract, the seller's still responsible for putting things back the way they were. I like to call it putting Humpty Dumpty back together again. So, no toga parties, sellers. Toga! Toga! The home inspection contingency that's used in Montgomery County and DC has two parts. The contingency says that the buyer will have the inspection done and then will do one of two things. Either, if they've selected Part A, they have the right to negotiate and they can give the seller a notice requesting repairs or a credit in lieu of repairs. They must also give the seller a copy of the inspection report or reports that they've based those requests on. There's a process that's laid out after that for the back and forth and what happens if everyone can't agree. The next option is Part B, which is simply a notice voiding the contract based on the results of the inspection. They don't have to give a copy of the report. They don't even really have to tell the seller why. They simply have to give a notice. Buyers can select either Part A, Part B, or both. One thing it's really important to remember is that the time frame in the notices during the contingencies have to be followed exactly. Otherwise, they can lose their right to negotiate and have to move forward with the deal even if they haven't gotten that opportunity. Also, very important, remember, everything has to be in writing, it has to be signed by the parties, there's no verbal. Then there are additional as-is clauses further down in the contract. There's the free and clear of trash and debris, some people call it the dumpster clause, wood destroying insects, well and septic requirements, and HOA or condo property condition requirements. Those individual items can also be added in and made part of the as-is, part of the contract. As long as everyone understands the process, has realistic expectations, and goes in with their eyes wide open, as-is doesn't really have to be such a big deal. If you'd like to see more videos about the home buying process, Click here. Thinking about selling and want to learn more? Click there. And if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, click over here. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and stay safe.